Now we are recording. That's how I feel today. It is Sunday. Nope, it's Monday.
But it's my Sunday.
That's right. It's Jenna's Sunday. It's Monday for everyone else, but it felt like Sunday a little bit to me, obviously. This is, we are doing a bonus episode for part one of the, when we did the episode, I kept the pronunciation of how to say that, Mataviajitas. I think that's how you say it. I don't have it in front of me right now.
So part one
was really the look-up list, and I can't remember how.
So that was all the one that I did, and then the other one you had to kind of revamp a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So we have a couple of questions. I think all of these are actually, we have some from the look-up list and some from the first part of the episode, I think. And then the part two, unless you're on Patreon, if you're on Patreon, I put out the whole entire episode. But if you're not, then part two comes out tomorrow. This will come out tonight with no editing. So be kind and gentle and understanding that me and Jenna went to Mount Lemon yesterday.
Is that what they're being kind and understanding about?
No.
I got the wind knocked out of me, essentially.
Yeah, they're being kind and understanding that I'm not editing this, and we're both, I will speak for myself, I'm exhausted. I'm super, super tired.
I feel tired.
Yeah.
Not because of Mount Lemon, just life.
Yeah, life. But so Mount Lemon's like, what, a 45-minute drive?
Yeah, I'd say an hour and 5 from like here, this part of town.
Right.
So like to get to the base of Mount Lemon, 20 minutes.
And then 40,
and then up.
Yeah. So they're doing Oktoberfest on Mount Lemon every weekend until Halloween. And so we went up for that, but then we actually realized we have no interest in the Oktoberfest because it was pretty much just like German beer and bratwursts. But Jenna suggested we ride the ski lift. Just, you can ride it just for fun now, but there's no snow. And I had never been on it. So wait, you had been on it. Yes.
I had been on it. You'd never been on a ski lift, period, ski or not. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It was scary. It was cooler and scarier than I remembered when I was on it, like this one 8 years ago, let's say.
Before we left, remember you were like, you're not scared of heights, right? And I was like, no, I don't think so. No. But I don't think I'm scared of heights, but I felt a little scared of heights when we were up there in the wind, in the windiness.
Well, and when it would pause. And that's something I'm going to bring up at some point on the next look-up list.
That's a good one.
But remember what I said about, I think there is something there. I won't go into it. Every time we went by the tower that was, part of the structure.
Right. That basically the wire that the seats were hanging off of went through.
That's when you felt more nervous, and I did as well. And something about humans and machines, period. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
We'll come back to it.
And then I want to know if there is something behind that, if a machine, I don't know, a car, a roller coaster, a ski lift, an elevator, a machine that you basically are either inside of or on, if it pauses, even just, a subway, if it pauses, even just for a slight few seconds or certainly for a few minutes, everyone's natural, I would assume everyone's natural instinct is to be like, oh my God, what's wrong?
Unless they go on, let's say, at least I know like New York subway, unless you're on it frequently, so you get accustomed to every once in a while or every other ride, I think it's going to pause or the lights are going to flicker. But otherwise,
Yeah, because the ski lift paused a few times, and it paused when we were coming down, which was way scarier, and there was a lot of wind, and I was instantly like, oh my God, what's wrong? What's happening? But overall, it was really cool. We got a ton of videos and pictures that I'm
going to
post. I had a very fun time. And then we came back to Jenna's home, and Michael made meatball subs.
Yep.
Which
you did not eat.
I did not eat.
They were good.
I'm not eating. I don't know what. I'm not eating anything. I'm just.
You're watching what you eat.
Thank you. Yes, I am. and I'm exercising more than ever, and I'm feeling very tired. So
also, we played code names. If any listeners know about code names,
such a fun game.
There you go.
Yeah, it's a great, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like kind of like a card game, but not really.
It's like a clue card game, team game.
It's a brain game.
Yeah, it's
sure.
a brain game.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's a great adult game that's like makes your brain work harder. Yeah. And we played codenames. Yeah, and it was kind of a late night, and so all of that is to say,
good night.
I'm tired. Yeah. And before we do our few little lookups here, I think I've said this for like a month now, so it's gonna be like the boy who cried wolf. But I have not checked. I haven't even opened. We have so many DMs. Not so many, but we do. We have a lot of DMs and Facebook messages, and I think even some Patreon like email messages. And I have not opened them, and then obviously not responded. And I feel terrible because I really try to stay up on that. But between trying to work out and just life and, I just haven't. So
you'll get to them.
I will, 100%. My goal is to pick a day this week where I'm going to literally go through everything, respond to everyone. So if I have ignored you, it's not personal.
Well, it's not active ignoring. It's just haven't landed there yet.
Right. Because I don't want to just open it and give a response and then I don't, you know what I mean?
Open it and not have time to give the time and thoughtfulness to the response. Yeah.
That's why I don't even open them, because exactly. I want to be able to give the thoughtfulness to the response. So I'm going to do my best because I love getting them. So please don't stop sending messages, but I will get to them this week. That is what I'm saying. Thank you for your patience.
With that response or just in general?
Just in general. But like, I also think maybe some people don't give a shit. Like they've sent a message. They're not sitting at home like, why hasn't Margot or Jenna written back to me?
I don't think they are.
No, definitely not.
But
if anyone is aware of it, there's my explanation / excuse / promise for the week.
Well, now you better follow up.
I know.
Follow up.
All right, let's talk about a few things. I like all of these questions today. I picked 4 from Jenna. You had a lot on that list.
I know. I felt like I did. It was almost double-sided.
Yeah, you had a lot written down. I only picked 4 for today because
you're tired.
Yep. But this is just the part 1, so we'll do a part 2.
Oh, yeah, good point.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So one question is, we talked about criminologists in the episode, and so the question is, what does a criminologist do that a police officer or detective doesn't? And basically just, what is a criminologist? Because I thought I knew. Did you think you knew, or you knew you didn't know?
I think I knew I didn't know.
Okay.
Like, I mean, sure, I could guess, but yeah, I don't know. No.
I thought a criminologist was like a CSI, like a crime scene investigator.
Doing dusting for fingerprints or blood.
Yeah.
DNAs.
Yeah.
Is it, okay, criminologist? Now I'm starting to think like the science behind, well, that could be what we just said. Okay, what is it?
Yeah, you're going in the right direction.
Well, ologist.
That's right.
That's what made me think like there's something more like.
Yep.
It's all sounds scientific, but something there. So tell me.
Like sociologists, biologists, meteorologists. Mm-hmm. They study the weather. They study human patterns. A sociologist. You know what I mean? So a criminologist is collect and analyze qualitative and quantitative data surrounding crime, ultimately providing insights and solutions to prevent crime in certain communities or just understand the nature of crime in certain areas. They take a hard look at offenders. They identify like the criminals,
like patterns there.
Yeah, and specific criminals, and then try to develop patterns. So they'll look at a specific criminal or murderer or thief or whatever, and look at their situations along with their motives, along with how society has impacted them, generational changes, and they'll then also tap into ethics and investigate why people commit crimes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's so criminology is the study of crime and criminal behavior. informed by the principles of sociology and other non-legal fields, including
Psychology. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
going to say that has to be one of them.
psychology, economics, statistics, and anthropology.
Right.
So-
Because, and this is probably like the most base level of any patterns that they can develop or notice, but socioeconomic status or cultural ethnic background, like even just those basic things. Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, super interesting. I mean, that all makes sense because you were right. You're on the right track when you said ologist, and that never registered for me. So now this explanation makes sense, and it sounds like a fascinating job.
So, and they're not the ones doing
No.
the investigating of the DNA that
Forensics.
potentially, there it is.
No.
Okay, yeah, got it.
No, not at all. Okay, so while we're on this, let's keep going. So, how do murder investigations in the United States differ from those in Mexico? And that's a pretty broad question.
It sure is.
Yeah, so I'm obviously not going to be able to explain it as as detailed as I could, because we don't want to be here forever and ever. But I'm going to give you an overview. So, and realistically, so murder investigations in the U.S. and Mexico differ because of the legal system. So it's not just like how they investigate it. It really is just based on the legal system mainly, and law enforcement practices, resources, cultural norms.
That's what I was wondering. Yeah, how much money they get.
Yeah. So there's a lot of factors that go into it. But in the U.S., the legal system follows common law principles. There's a big emphasis on due process, the right to legal representation, and the presumption of innocence in the U.S. And the investigation is done by law enforcement agencies, and the evidence gets presented. I mean, we all know, I'm saying things that we all know, but just to then contrast it with Mexico follows a civil law system where the legal process is based on codes and statutes. The criminal justice system is undergoing reforms to enhance due process and trials, but challenges related to corruption and delays continue to persist. So there's a ton of corruption, and I think they're trying to reform it because I believe as of now there's no jury system, and I think we talked about that in the episode. Like, it's just in front of a judge, and the judge decides, but really the media and the public decide.
Sure.
Right.
Because, and actually I won't say this because I'm not sure if it comes, I think it comes in part 2, so never mind.
Oh yeah, good point. Damn. Okay. Because I think that's
fine.
It's
You
okay.
didn't give anything. What I was about to say was a part of potentially part 2.
Gotcha. So resources in the United States, not obviously, I guess. I don't know why I always say that. It's not obvious, but the United States has more resources, more specialized units, and advanced forensic technologies for investigating murders. And there's often a cooperation and coordination between federal, state, and local agencies. That's pretty common here. This was interesting, and now this is literally, as I'm reading this, giving me another look-up list question. But the United States has about 18,000 law enforcement agencies, including local, state, and federal police forces. 18,000. So does that mean like every police unit?
Wait, that's countrywide?
Yeah, that seems small, right?
Yes. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure. I literally just have that fact.
Say that again. 18,000 what?
Law enforcement agencies, including local, state, and federal police.
Well, those are agencies. Those aren't agents, individual people.
Right, but even for the if you're counting every police station in the United States, like
that is
low.
Seems low.
But so that just made me think of that fact, because I was saying that there's a lot of coordination in murder investigations between the federal, like the FBI, the local police department, the CSI. I don't think that falls into any. I think that falls into police, but. In Mexico, they have limited resources, tons of corruption, and there's a lot of coordination issues between federal and local law enforcement. Like, they don't work together well like they do here, or like they tend to do here. Again, advanced forensic technology, DNA analysis, ballistics, fingerprints are all used here in the U.S. It varies in Mexico across regions. Some areas have very limited access to forensic technology, and some have more. So, I mean, some places may not even be able to do DNA.
Right. Like, again, about the resources and the availability of the individuals in the force. Not the force, but the force.
Cultural and social factors. This seems like a real big one. Your social, cultural, and historical factors influence how people in the U.S. perceive crime, the perception of crime and law enforcement, and the criminal justice system and all of that. And in Mexico, it's less about how we perceive police or how we perceive the legal system. In Mexico, it's more about the influence of drug cartels and organized crime. It's a significant role in murder investigations because so many murders are from the cartel that it can go both ways. Either police officers don't really investigate that heavily, especially if the police officer is corrupt and working with the cartel,
or if they I imagine at times it's maybe not assumed, that's probably the wrong word, but
I think it is
they
the right
chalk
word.
it up to if they have other pressing things, maybe if it seems like there could be a cartel connection, it's okay, that's what it was, done deal, close the book.
I think that happens a lot. The next one that I have is organized crime and drug cartels. So it says organized crime obviously exists in the U.S., but it's not as prevalent or dominant in the murder investigations as it is in Mexico. Organized crime, drug cartels, and gang-related violence are significant challenges to murder investigations because it puts police officers in complex and dangerous situations. If you are investigating a murder that is done by the cartel, then you're putting yourself in danger.
That's it. That's where I couldn't really form where my brain was going, but I was thinking maybe there's some fear-based stuff.
Totally.
Or protection stuff.
Yeah. If you go too deep and it's the cartel and they don't like that, it's
even if the one person you're investigating is associated with the cartel is dead, has been murdered, there's many more behind them.
Yeah, I really want to do a series of episodes on the cartel. It's maybe a little gruesome, but it is fascinating to me. It's a big part of it. The Southwest.
More gruesome, just in terms of the things they do, the murders they commit.
And the last one I have for big differences is transnational challenges. So due to its border with Mexico, the U.S. deals with transnational crime issues, including drug trafficking, human trafficking, and illegal arms trading. And so the U.S. and Mexico, the U.S. has to be willing to coordinate and collaborate with Mexican authorities, and vice versa. Obviously, that's the same in Mexico because there is so much over the border crime that can relate to the murders. The Mexican authorities have to be willing to work with the U.S. And I think that in general, neither are thrilled about working with either. Not all the time, but often.
Yeah, I have no idea. And also my first thought was, I guess I can only speak for where I live and the big wall that's between us. Our people, the officers from Sonora, let's coordinate with the, Sonora, Arizona.
Definitely not. I don't think so. So that's a very general overview.
That's a gist.
But that's the gist. And
those are potential factors that influence things. Yeah.
Right. So maybe we'll get into it a little bit more in the next lookup. I'll go a little bit deeper than that. And this one, let's see, I have two more. So volcanoes in Mexico City. I actually don't remember talking about that. I must have mentioned.
Why did we? Sense of place?
Yeah, I think I must have mentioned that in the sense of place. So what I found is that Mexico City is not typically associated with active volcanoes within the actual city, but it is located within a region with significant volcanic activity. It's situated in the Valley of Mexico, which is surrounded by mountains and volcanoes.
Active volcanoes. Huh.
So Popocatépetl is currently active after being dormant for about half of the last century. Activity increased in 1991, and since 1993, you can see smoke continuously coming out of the volcano.
Ooh.
Super scary. It's the second highest peak in Mexico. It's 17,000 feet above sea level. It's about 40 miles southeast of Mexico City, so it's pretty close. And it's considered to be one of the most dangerous volcanoes in the world due to how close it is to Mexico City and that it is active.
I wonder when it last erupted, like erupted.
So it has experienced numerous eruptions in the past, but the most recent significant eruptive activity has occurred in the past few years. I don't have a year for whatever reason, but yeah. There's another active volcano located near there. It's also 17,000 feet. Oh, no, it's not active. It's dormant. It's part of the Trans-Mexican Volcanic Belt. So there's several. There's another one that is considered dormant, but that's something I'd be interested to know. Like, how do you officially call a volcano dormant? You know what I mean? Like, how do you know?
I bet it's in how many years it hasn't erupted. I wish I had a pen and paper, which it's probably good I don't right here, but I'm going to look it up. But I just looked up this
Popocatépetl?
Yeah.
Petal. Oh, yeah.
There's an L, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Also, both of us are pronouncing it wrong, so it's fine. This says that the last time, after lying inactive for more than 70 years, it erupted in December 1994. And then volcanic activity recurred October and March of 96, as well as December 2000.
Yeah. So 23 years ago, it's not that. I mean, it's not 2000, 23 years ago.
Okay, but let's take the main eruption, 94. That was about to be 30 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, what was your question?
Like, how can you officially call a volcano dormant? I'm having trouble pronouncing that word, and it's very easy.
Okay. Volcanologists use that term, dormant, as shorthand for potentially active.
What?
So a dormant volcano is one that is not erupting now, but that is considered to be active because it could erupt in the future.
Oh, then why do they just call it active and not dormant? What's the difference between an active volcano?
I know. See, we're going. A dormant volcano would then be one that hasn't, like a true dormant one. Oh my God. A dormant volcano would be one that hasn't erupted in the past 10,000 years, but which is expected to erupt again. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
So like volcanoes, whatever. You know, that's what I say. Okay. Volcanoes, whatever. We should title it that.
Volcanoes, whatever.
Whatever.
Jeez,
10,000 years. Wow.
So they've implemented in Mexico City monitoring and preparedness measures to respond to potential volcanic eruptions, which includes early warning systems, evacuation plans, and public education. I mean, like, what's the plan? Get out. Like, get away.
Yeah, but like, I'm sure it's like, where there's places with tornadoes or where like
tsunamis.
I was in a tsunami spot, which I hadn't seen before. Maybe my eyes were just closed.
Yeah, that was in Costa
Rica. So they issue, there's going to be this kind of siren going on.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
we used to have tornado sirens in Atlanta. Like, they would go off every Wednesday as practice.
Oh, we didn't have that. But you remember in Chicago or outside of Chicago where the tornado warning or tornado drill.
Yes.
In school.
Definitely remember those.
Go by your locker, put your hands behind your neck.
Yep.
And then get all swooped away in a tornado in a volcano.
It's like so pointless.
Yeah, I know.
Never understood that. Still did
it's your best case chance, I guess. Away from windows.
Yeah, that is the point. But still, if a tornado rips through the school, it doesn't matter if you're by a window or sitting in the hallway or inside of your locker. You're still screwed.
That's right.
All right, last one is arepa versus papusa.
Oh, yeah.
Which are both two types of food. And I've had both, but they seem almost the same to me. So I think I said that, and I incorrectly tried to remember where each of these originated, and I was wrong now that I've found it. So an arepa, and I'm perhaps saying that incorrectly.
No, I think you're saying it correctly.
Okay.
Correctly enough for a white woman.
Person. Yeah.
White person.
So they are a staple food in Colombia and Venezuela with roots in indigenous cultures. They're made from pre-cooked cornmeal, water, and salt. The dough is shaped into a flat, round patty, and then you can either grill, bake, or fry it. They're usually thicker than pupusas, and they have a crispy exterior and a soft, doughy interior, and they can be filled with cheese, ham, eggs, avocado, any kind of filling you want. But
Yum.
they're often served split open and filled with those cheese, eggs, ham, avocado for breakfast or lunch.
Nice.
Yeah. Pupusa is a traditional dish from El Salvador and an integral part of Salvadoran cuisine. They're made from masa harina, which I know I've heard before. It's a dough made from ground corn.
Well, that's what's in a tamale.
Okay, that's right. So,
Or, that's a part of a tamale.
right.
Yeah.
So it's made from that, water and salt, so similar. And the dough is filled with a variety of ingredients such as cheese, beans, meat, or a combination. Pupusas are typically thinner than arepas and have a thicker, more substantial filling. Pupusas are typically served with curtido, a pickled cabbage slaw, and tomato salsa.
Yum.
I'm so hungry right now.
Okay, pupusa.
Mhm.
Look one thing up for me if you have your computer.
I do.
I mean, I see it, so I know you do. If you're willing to access it. Pupusa, so that's the masa-based thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pupusa versus tamale, or compared to
Oh.
tamale. And maybe it's very different. I know tamale's from Mexico, but tamale is masa with traditionally meat, very traditionally, I think, an olive in there. But anyways, tell me. Tell me.
A tamale is a traditional Mexican dish made of masa,
Uh-huh.
and typically filled with either meat or vegetables.
Yeah.
Pupusa is a Salvadorian flatbread that is also made of masa and filled with either cheese, beans, both, or meat. So
Different fillings, perhaps,
Different
but also
fillings.
maybe like the masa is
well, it's used differently because
Used
the
differently.
masa is used in a tamale, isn't it, in the inside?
well, it's here's the outside, the corn husk,
Right.
then the masa, and then inside is the filling. Now the
Right.
pupusa sounds like it's all kind of mixed together.
I'm going to show you. No, I'm going to show you. That's what I should have done. Show you an image of a. So a pupusa literally looks like a pita,
Oh, okay.
but you can put stuff inside of it.
Right.
And an arepa, I mean, this is what I picture both of them to look like, and they
Got
both
it.
essentially look like this.
Okay, and now, yeah, and I
And a
can
tamale
see that. Yeah,
looks very different than
it
that.
does. It looks like a little
But
log.
It's
But
all kind of
similar.
it's some type of corn dough. I know a tamale isn't dough.
Well,
They're-
no, it's
but
fine though.
Yeah,
it
it's
makes
some
it.
type of corn-based
Yeah.
dough or whatever that is filled with different things. Which, I mean, that's kind of all of them, and I want them so bad. I'm so hungry right now. I want all of it right now.
Yeah,
Oh, tomato salsa. That sounds so good.
I mean that's isn't most. Well, I guess sometimes it's tomatillo based, not just tomato. Red salsa's always
it's-
tomato based.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I was picturing more like
Italian.
kind of like big chunks of tomato and olive oil and
That's your Italianness
yeah,
is coming out.
I'm picturing like a bruschetta topping kind of.
Yum.
as
Just
tomato
different.
salsa, which is definitely not. Yeah, that's different. We got a HelloFresh box today, and one of them is called. It's a clever name. I can't remember now, but it's essentially like called the Gouda Burger. I think that's what it is called. The Gouda Burger. Like
Is that
the
a
good
clever-
burger.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I would see that would have totally. That's a cool name. It's just descriptive, but I get it now.
And it's it's like a burger with Gouda in it or on it. I don't know. And a tomato onion jam, they call it.
Which
yum.
I don't like. The jam indicates sweet to me, but I know it's not, or maybe
Right.
it has like a base sweetness. But when you say the good burger,
Yeah, good burger.
what are you thinking about? Because I'm thinking about something.
Wasn't that something on like Nickelodeon?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Right?
Keenan and Kel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it was.
I think it was
Also,
too.
when you said the cheese, the Gouda's either in it or on it.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I mean, unless it's like in the bathroom. But it reminds me of, you've heard of like a Juicy Lucy, where you put
No.
cheddar in, you like you make your own patty, and then you like, I don't know how you do it because I've never done it, but you like make a little hole in there.
Oh, so it's like in the middle, like a molten lava cake, but with cheese.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I would like that. See, I would rather have the Gouda melted on top of the burger
Mm-hmm.
rather than just like cut into chunks and mixed into the meat, you know?
Yeah. No.
Or I would like a little lava explosion
You
of
have
cheese
to
in the middle.
have a space for the cheese, not
Yes.
just like not just a flavoring. It's not just
Yes.
like oregano.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The Gouda deserves its own space on the burger.
Well,
with that, I think
folks,
that's a good...
she's going to go eat her Gouda burger. Gouda burger.
Yeah. Gouda burger. Anyways, I'm excited to try it. And the other the other meals look okay. Not as good as the Gouda burger, so we'll see. This is not an ad either.
But also we do ads for HelloFresh.
We have, yeah. But
they're not going to like that you said, like, well, the other ones just look okay.
Well,
it doesn't matter. They don't listen.
Yeah, HelloFresh is not listening to this.
Damn it. If you are, I really love it, and I'll take some free boxes. Otherwise, it's out of the realm of what I'm willing to pay for. But that's because my bank account's low.
Yeah, that's good. That was a good explanation. Thank you. And that's it. So, wow, I got tongue tied there. Episode part 2 of the Mata Viejitas will come out tomorrow.
So that'll be 41, right? Because
Yep.
Okay.
That'll be 41, and this will come out very
right
shortly.
now.
Yeah, we're gonna end it, and I'm gonna put it right up with no editing. So enjoy it, and we love you all, and
Hug your loved ones.
we'll talk to you soon.
Eat a hamburger.
Bye.
Bye-bye.